Hey guys, welcome to the first of many content-specific videos to take something, an idea from your unit agenda, all those objectives, and here I get to break it down for y'all. So what we're going to do is we're going to take those first two objectives in our spring sophomore unit 5 agenda, and we're going to talk about them. Right, I've already posted some videos for y'all from Edpuzzle on kind of what are the main ideas to look at, but here I'm just going to give you guys kind of some quick information. How do I know what's the most important parts? Okay, so I'm looking at the agenda right now, and the first of the 4 marks, okay, is the first objective is explain the 4 marks and explain the church's source for unity. Okay, so what that means is, when we're looking at the 4 marks, all you got to look at is our creed, right? 1, holy, Catholic, and apostolic. Right, those are our 4 marks of the church. Now we've been going over some of those in previous chapters, but here we're kind of explicitly talking about all 4, and this chapter we're going to be focusing on unity. Okay? Now, the source for our unity, clear, right? That is God, right? God is the source of unity. God is the, who brings all his people to himself. Remember that the goal of the covenants was to reunite his people with himself, right? So when we're talking about unity, we want to break it up into very specific categories. I had created an Edpuzzle that had you guys think about the different ways of to be unified. And when you look at that, you're going to find unity of faith, unity of worship, and unity of leadership, right? Those are the 3 that are specifically stated on our agenda. Okay, so my goal here is to just kind of explain that a little bit more. If you want to, go ahead and open up your books from for this semester, right? It's the blue one that says the church. Probably flipped it over here, but we're looking at chapter 5, right? And it's the 4 marks. Okay. So let's take a look at this, right? We have unity of faith, worship, and leadership. All right? When we say unity of faith, easiest thing to look at right there, we've got the creed, right? In the creed, it is a clear, explicit statement of what we believe, right? That we are all unified by what we believe about who God is, okay? So we have this unity of faith that you're out there, and what you think about Jesus is what I think about Jesus. And when I go to the Eucharist, I'm like, that's God, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. The second of the types of unity is unity of worship. Okay? Now, here, kind of the primary thing that we're talking about is liturgy and sacraments, right? So, in your book, you're gonna see it highlights those things. It says the 7 sacraments instituted by Christ, and then it also that we all come together at the Mass, and especially during the Eucharist. Okay, so here that this Eucharist is this great sign of unity, but it's actually because we are entering into communion with the body of Christ, right? We are actually entering into a sort of unity, right? Not just a symbol, but remember, sacrament is this sign that accomplishes what it signifies, right? And so all the sacraments, that the way that we participate in uniting ourselves to God is also something that we share in common with the rest of the church, okay? Finally, we also have unity of leadership, okay? And this unity of leadership, we're talking about the apostolic succession. We're talking about this apostolic tradition, about how when I go to church or when I participate in the church in any way, I'm recognizing that I'm doing so under the leadership of a bishop who kind of manages all the priests who are administering all the sacraments in my diocese. And then those bishops that manage every diocese are connected to something greater, right? The College of Bishops, and how all of these church leaders that they can trace their authority, and they can trace their ability to perform the sacraments and lead these dioceses. They can trace it all the way back to the apostles, right? To the first 12 apostles, right? And that's really important for us. And tracing that leadership down, it gives legitimacy to the modern day bishops in their authority, because they can trace it all the way back down to the men that Jesus gave authority to. Okay? So there we have unity of faith, unity of worship, unity of leadership.